welcome back. I hope you have all been practicing resilience and also writing your vision and posting it. Today's topic is discover your strength, do it afraid, and it can be a follow-up to last week's topic, visioning. So it is easy to be overwhelmed and get anxious on a normal basis. So you can imagine that it is 100% worse now in a crisis such as this. It gets increasingly difficult to control your emotions, control your fears, control your doubts. But trust me, and you're probably just thinking that all I'm trying to do is survive. But trust me when I tell you, now is the perfect time to reach inside for that courage that has been given to you. What is courage? Courage is strength in the face of pain and grief. It is also the ability to control your fear when you're facing danger or difficult situation. So you see, without fear, without distress, without difficulty, there can be no courage. Courage exists in the face of these things. So I have two favorite phrases talking about courage. Courage for me is that voice at the end of the day saying, I will try again tomorrow. And also courage is doing it even though you feel fear. Many years ago, I heard the phrase "do it afraid" in a sermon that Joyce Meyer was doing, and that phrase has never left my mind. However, for many years, I considered myself as a behind the scene person. I was comfortable working in the background at church, at work, at school. I offer support. I am willing. Just ask me. As long as I'm in the background, I am willing. But what I notice is that I love the idea of imparting knowledge. I like sharing knowledge with people. But the fear of facing groups was greater than this love. And so that is why I would prefer to stay in the background. So trust me, I never saw myself doing this. Never saw myself doing this, even though I always wanted to do this thing. Also, I absolutely love music. I absolutely love singing. I am asked at church to sing sometimes, but trust me, I don't believe it's because I sing well. It's because they know that I won't say no. They ask me, not because I sing well, but because they know I am not going to say no. And I'm almost sure that sometimes when I am singing, that the people passing by the church, going about their business, that they can hear the nervousness in my voice. But after doing some, what you say, I must give you an example. Alright. No, I wouldn't do that to you. But after doing some self-examination, I discovered something about myself. I am willing. So even now, though I am afraid when I am asked to do something or I have something to do like this, even though I'm afraid, I am still willing to do it afraid, because I know that the end result of being courageous and pressing on is far better than not doing it due to fear. So I have a question for you. Is there something that you know you should do, that you can do, but if you're afraid to proceed because you're afraid that you will not meet the results, you will not get the required results that you're seeking for? Well, I strongly suggest that you do it afraid. You know why? Because the opportunity may pass, never to return, and you don't want that happening. So even though you're fearful, you might wait forever to get rid of the fear and the doubt and the anxiety, and the opportunity pass you. So even though you're afraid, do it. In case you didn't know, or you need to be reminded, everybody has strengths. What this means is that you have the ability to cope with your difficulties. You can operate even in stressful situations. You can bounce back in the face of suffering. And you can experience growth because of your challenges. How do you discover your strengths? First, you have to accept that you have strengths. Then you have to ask yourself a few questions. What are some of the things that I like to do that I feel like that I do well? What might my friend say make me a good friend to him or her? How do I handle difficult situations? You might want to start thinking about a situation that you might have had that was difficult to deal with and how you handle it the last time. And when you do what you know you need to do, what will be different about you and those around you? The next thing you need to do is to set SMART goals. We could do another session about SMART goals, but basically this is SMART. Your goals must be specific. Your goals must be measurable, attainable or achievable, realistic, and time bound. Time bound means you need to set a time so that you will know if you are meeting this requirement. If you desire success, goal setting is a requirement. It is required that you set a goal if you want to be successful. Goals offer you focus and direction. Goals allow you to control where your life is going and assist you in measuring your success. So if you set a goal, it is easier to measure how far you have reached, or even if you have even started at all in trying to achieve that goal. The goal setting also makes things less overwhelming. You know, when you have order, when there's order and you follow this particular order, it makes the process less overwhelming. The goal setting process begins with careful consideration of what you desire to achieve in life, and it ends with the commitment to work at it so that you can accomplish it. As I mentioned before, sometimes we fear failure because we are afraid that we are not able to meet some expectation or the other. But if you think about it, what is the worst that can happen if you make an attempt to do something? If you fail to accomplish the goal this time, you can just choose to learn from your mistake and just try again. Another question is, you could ask yourself is, what is the worst that can happen if I don't try? But I can answer this one for you. If you don't give yourself the opportunity to achieve this goal, the only thing that will result is failure. If you don't try, you fail. If you try, you have the opportunity to achieve this goal. So you see, whatever you decide, failure is a risk. If you do it, you risk failure. If you don't do it, you risk failure. But if you express courage to go forward and give yourself the opportunity to gain or offer something of value, in a lot of instances, even in my own life, I find that when I face my fears, I experience pleasant or favorable results. So there are 4 things that I want to share with you that you should bear in mind when you are faced with situations regarding achieving your goals in a fearful situation. The first one is, do not highlight what you do not want to happen. I can give you an example of that right now. Every time I come to do my tapes, I have to face the loud noises on the road because I live near traffic, heavy traffic. I have to face the people passing just as I reach the first part or the last part, a bike pass or the dog bark or a car pass and the horn is blowing. But what I do, I don't focus on what I don't want to happen. I focus on what I want to happen instead, and what do I need to do to make it happen. So I just brace myself. I wait until I hear it's kind of quiet, then I start. Otherwise, sometimes if I can't drown out the sound, I might talk a little louder so that you don't hear the background noise. But if you hear it, just forget it, alright? But the point is, do not highlight what you do not want to happen. Another thing is to don't expect everything to be smooth in your pursuit of success, right? Does everybody experience highs and lows in their lives? Success as well as failure is a normal part of life. It's natural. In fact, you don't know one until you have experienced the other. Think about it. For example, how do you know that you're happy? You know you're happy because you're not feeling sad, because you have experienced sadness before. And this can also be looked at in the reverse. The time and energy that you use on trying to achieve a goal is never wasted. The third thing is to be conscious of the goal and the potential outcomes. So don't just willy-nilly. Be conscious that this is what you want to do. What it does is makes you prepared for any failure and plan of actions to try again if you fail. Being conscious helps you to remain calm. Hear the bike? It helps you to remain calm when faced with fear and assist in creating something that contributes to self-development. The other thing is to ensure that self-awareness and self-acceptance is the foundation of every action you take. What that means is know your potential, know what you're capable of doing, because this will determine your level of success. This is what I have for you today. I'm so happy that I made it this far. This is about the 7th take. This is what I have for you today. Bear in mind though that you do not have to become successful overnight. And that is what I have been living on. I don't have to be perfect at this overnight. Just take it one step at a time. Meet each issue as it comes up, knowing that it is not as dreadful as it appears. It is not as dreadful as it appears, and that you and I have the strength to deal with this. Discover your strength and do it afraid. See you soon.